And hi, it's Sean again. How are you? So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try. Hold on. There we go. I'm gonna try not to keep staring up at the time. I'm gonna see if I can just pull this off in whatever my son says it's supposed to be 20 minutes. So what we're gonna do is, I have not. I don't get made up for this, but I do know enough to know that when you're on camera, you have to even your skin tone, take some of the glaze off, and that's my cat trying to get under the door. So I'm gonna do that, which is like nothing. Come on, King. Um, Siamese are so loud. And I'm just going to do that kind of like quick, like whatever, like an influencer. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm the anyway. So where I'm going to do that, but show promise was stage mothers. Stage mothers. Well, everything is in my, and now here she is. Everything, what are you eating? Everything in my estimation is in my estimation. In my estimation, there are 4 kinds of stage mothers. One of them is actually not a stage mother, so that should be interesting. So let me start my influencer stuff while I'm telling you about the 4 kinds of stage mothers. I don't want to be bending over all the time. I don't want to keep looking at you. So, honey, you do not want any makeup. Trust me. Okay, so 4 stage mothers, and I'm gonna do I can't see anyway, so whatever. What's the difference? Except I can't see the makeup. But so, what I start out with is this moisturizer, Jergens, and excuse me, and then I mix that with actually a tinted moisturizer. Now, stage mothers, there's 4 types of stage mothers. Again, all in my crazy mind. You have the traditional stage mother. You have the troublesome stage mother. You have the anti-stage mother, and you have the then you have another kind of stage mother. There's the reverse stage mother. I'm thinking of the anti-stage mother, and we all know who that probably is. So I take this stuff and I mix it because I don't want it to look like, I'm wearing foundation, but I need to clear stuff up. So I take that, a little bit of that, and I take a little bit of that. Actually, not so much of that. Be careful because that one's got a lot of color in it. I'm gonna just do this. And then I just smush it around like moisturizer on my hand. So, first kind of stage mother would be the traditional stage mother, correct? Correct. And that would be who you probably would imagine to be the harmless stage mother. Just like your run-of-the-mill stage mother. Oh, she's on the show, whatever. Not the evil one. So, so that's the traditional stage mother. She's happy-go-lucky. She loves the attention. She's diplomatic and loves the crafts table. I'm kidding. I am so kidding. So then after I've done that nothing bit, usually I go over it. And I actually go over it with, I use a cream powder foundation. And guess what let me do the fancy influencer makeup thing. So there we are, Goodwill 197. Okay, so it's still broken. So so that's the traditional one that you use, a harmless one, just stage mother. That's all they are. Now, then you have the troublesome stage mother. Troublesome stage mother lives vicariously through their children. They were a beauty queen, or I don't know. They owned a pharmacy. I don't know. I don't know what. But the troublesome stage mother. I have a story about a troublesome stage mother that you are gonna love. So the troublesome stage mother is the one who now, since I just put that mixture of moisturizer and tinted moisturizer and the sort of regular, skin cream lotion. So now I'm gonna go into, instead of using concealer and stuff, I'm doing this blind. I mean, seriously, dude, I can't see you, I can't see shit. So I'm gonna go in with that. See, it gives you a lot, right? And instead, whatever. So then we have the troublesome stage mother. Troublesome stage mother is troublesome, is cumbersome, is high maintenance, she's inquisitive and she's like talkative and like interrupts the vibe, with her like now when I say her, there are also stage fathers, so I'm just using that as a traditional, sort of obviously example. So the troublesome stage mother pretends to be the traditional stage mother, but she can't. It's like wearing drag when you're like Burt Reynolds or whatever. You can't. Well, maybe Burt Reynolds does look good in drag. I don't know. So then I take this, which is powder foundation, and then I just use that to go over the troublesome spots because I don't want to look like I have foundation on makeup. And one of my troublesome spots is around the nose. I am half Irish. We tend to have very I don't know, skin that's like easily pinched and it's fair. It's very fair. So I got they're not freckles, dude. They're just being old. Now, one last thing. So we've got the troublesome stage mother, who you get the vibe, right? With the troublesome, all the things that the troublesome stage mother could, cause trouble about. Whatever, just like garden variety, whatever. But I'm going to tell you about a troublesome stage mother that I cannot. I have to be very careful about this one, you guys. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, the what I do is I always go through them over the mustache part, because no matter how much you shave, I learned in drag. In drag, actually, for me, who grows hair, quite easily, and it's fairly dense, covering the covering the mustache was really a problem, because I would stay up very late, and you can shave as much as you want. You give yourself a drag shave, basically, which means like scrape a layer of your skin off and then put makeup on it. No matter how hard I tried with that Derma blend, is a scar covering thing. But sure enough, within 2 hours, I had a mustache, and that was really fun. So let me go through the other two stage mothers, and then I'll tell you about the juicy stage mother. Oh my God, you guys, you're gonna have to guess, right? Which is not too hard because I wasn't in too many movies, right? I mean, so then, as a finishing agent, I will only use translucent powder because translucent powder is like invisible powder. It does the job of powder, like taking, glare or whatever off, but it doesn't really add color. It just is kind of this clear powder. That's why it's called translucent. What I always do with stuff, not that I do it, is people you see like, oh, no, crush it in there, right? Crush it in there. And then shake it off, blow, typical tap, and then you just go like really lightly and casually, like just over, no pushing, no anything. So now we have the reverse stage mother. So reverse stage mother is like kind of out of the picture because she's not a stage mother, but she is like, a stage mother kind of by proxy. Reverse stage mother, best example I'm going to use is celebrities are open season to me, because everything's true that I say, but I'm not out to like bring the town down, although some of it's going to come down. But so when I say that, I mean, like when I'm glib about, oh, Shirley MacLaine or whatever, well, yeah, it happened. And so I'm an open book. Everyone knows I'm an open book. I don't know where it's going with that. But anyway, there are actually parameters to that. And that is two people. One, Elizabeth Montgomery, who is my surrogate mother through the industry. Because I've told you before, we did movies and whatever. We were very tight. And she let me know that the industry didn't have to be a wood chipper, but it was. But we had so much fun, talking about the wood chipper. And the other person is Barbara Streisand. You will never, okay, this woman took me in for 5 years off and on by proxy through my best friend Jason. And I learned that smart families don't have to be monstrous. They don't have to manipulate each other with their intelligence. They could just be intelligent and be like normal. And that's what Barbara taught me because she was Jason's mom. Excuse me, that's gross, licking my fingers to get the makeup off. Anyway, that's it. No more makeup. That's my regimen. So you won't ever hear me ever, maybe like intimate passing reference of, we were at a Chinese restaurant or something, but that's to my grave stuff. You will never, ever get me to dish in any what are you eating, hon? You will never get me to dish on her. Period. The end. 5 years. She took me in basically and saved my life from my mother and my stepfather and, other people. So those are the only off-limit people. I won't give intimate details about Elizabeth Montgomery, and I will never give details about Barbara Streisand, except for passing, light reference. So we're done with my thing. This is how disgusting it is, because that's this bag I got for the ET premiere, 40th premiere, which was 3 years ago or something. And I only brought it because in the hotel I needed to put something on, so it wasn't scary. So this is the bag. It's got all the stuff I originally got. This is all I use, translucent powder. This is all I use, which would be a Jergens moisturizer, a special kind of for dry skin. And then, of course, there is the tinted moisturizer, which I do not recommend foundation at all. I mean, if anything, use a tinted moisturizer and then blend, mix it up with all this other stuff like I do. This, of course, essential. This is your lifeline to your face. Blend, powder and blend, powder and blend, powder and blend. And trusty brush. Always have your own brush you trust and you like and you love and you're in love with. These things, throw them out. And of course, go to Goodwill. I don't have the nails for the finger tap, but there you go. And that's it. That's the bag. So, oh my God, I just did it again. I am so sorry, you guys. That's gross. Hun, there is nothing in here. You're not going to eat makeup. I know you love me. So, now let's go to the reverse stage mother. That would, in fact, actually, I got on topic with Miss Streisand because she would be an example of many. I don't know. Well, no, she's incomparable. But anyway, I guess the concept of the reverse stage mother would be actually the child is not the star, so to speak. It would be the parent, the woman, let's say, that is the star, and she's a reverse stage mother because it's the child that has to bear witness to her fame, and it is her that is the famous one. So child is not living vicariously through her mother. Trust me, in those scenarios, no. Like Jason and I or a million other people, no. We don't live vicariously through our parents. If anything, we become very, very clever folks. And so she, in that sense, would be the reverse stage mother because, like I just said, so we've got the traditional stage mother, we've got the troublesome stage mother, which I will end this with. And then we have the reverse stage mother, and then we have the anti-stage mother. The anti-stage mother, before we get to the troublesome stage mother again, there is the anti-stage mother. The anti-stage mother was my mother. She was not interested. This is not don't get out the violins. It's just, me. I just lay it on the line and whatever. So she was the like an antichrist, or an antechamber, where you go into this, not, it's the reverse. It's not what you expect. It's irony at its finest. And the anti-stage mother would be my mother, who didn't really care. It's not that, she cared that I was making money, and that I was doing a good job. and studying with the best people. That's why I studied with Lee Strasberg, because I had to study with the best people. Even after him, I had to study like with Joan Darling British acting coaches, specially chosen, whatever. But Lee is was my only takeaway as an actor, in terms of. So she would be my mother, the where are we at? The anti-stage mother, meaning she wasn't on the set. My mother was never on the set. My mother, I don't think, was ever once on a set with me in my whole career, from age 6 to whenever. I mean, I didn't meet her at 17, but never. Not one time, in retrospect. Not one time. What I had were set sitters or guardians. The most polite thing I can say is a guardian, because one of my deepest, longest friendships was with my guardian. They're usually guardian ad litem, which means that they have legal ability to, I don't know, take you off the set or whatever. Mine was a lovely lady, and her name was Deborah. And her name was Deborah Deckert. And she's a Facebook friend of mine, and Deborah and I can't even, there's no way to for me to anecdotally tell you about Deborah and I, because Deborah Deckert, Deb Deckert, sorry, Deborah, Deb, she just saved my life, she wasn't a set sitter, she wasn't a guardian ad litem, she was there, she was my companion, she was my protector, and she wasn't, she was just such a normal, genuine, loving person who played beautiful guitar, but knew how to wrangle celebrities, because we were always around them. So anyway, that being said, my mother was the anti-stage mother. Did not care, come home with a paycheck, not even did you do a good job today? Or were you happy about your scenes? Nothing. Not once. The same lady that used to say, when I would tell her I love her, her answer was thank you. Do the math. So let's finish up with stage mothers, because I enumerated the stage mothers for you. Now we're going to go back to the troublesome stage mother. So I'm just going to give you one nice juicy example of troublesome stage mother, because you can imagine what troublesome stage mother, like I said, it's they're busybodies, or they're I don't know, breathing down people's necks or whatever. No, not always, just that. So let's use an example. I was in some movie a while back, and it was a pretty big movie, and there were minors on the set, right? So there was this film that I did, and one of the minors, who was the important minor, in this film that I did, this successful film I did, had a troublesome stage mother, or what I would consider a troublesome stage mother. Very jolly, very friendly, lovely smile, everything. But allegedly, in this movie that I did a while back, this other movie, what would appear to be a traditional stage mother actually was a very troublesome stage mother. Boy, was she ever. So in this alternate universe with this other film that I'm talking about, this is all allegedly, this is the Sean disclaimer of allegedly, rumor of a rumor, right? Very well sourced are my rumors of rumors. But let's put them in this box, this safe box. So on this movie, this young person, this minor, had this woman who was the facade of a traditional stage mother, but was a troublesome stage mother. This troublesome stage mother actually went to the extent, and I cannot get nailed on this, guys, because this is, again, it's a rumor, but I have it well sourced, and I cannot tell you how closely I have it well sourced because it's alleged, so whatever. So in this parallel universe, this stage mother decided, even though the other participants in the film were under NDAs about the contents of the material, this troublesome stage mother in sheep's clothing actually went to the largest gossip columnist in town for like a long time around that time, before and after. Probably the number one. And something or other was leaked. Thank God, apparently was not very much leaked. There was not very much leaked, I guess, or maybe there was. I honestly don't know. Was somebody paid off? I mean, how much did the person get? The gossip columnist. Anyway, so rumor has it that this troublesome stage mother that looked like a traditional stage mother went to the top gossip columnist in town, made some remarks allegedly about the film or doing the film, or God, I hope she didn't say anything about in the film or stuff in the film or characters in the film or things that are kind of characters in the film, kind of, so, but like important things that are, you know what I mean? Because apparently this thing that occurred that I'm telling you about with the one of the four kinds of stage mothers almost got this parallel universe minor who was, you know, an integral part of this film, fired. Not, I mean, I don't. You can call it whatever you want, fired or let go, or come to Jesus meeting and then let go, or I don't know what. And I don't know any consequences. I don't know anything beyond that. I don't know like what discussion was had, how close a call it was, you know, or whatever. But yes, in said film, said thing occurred from said person, stage mother. Said people said everything. So there you go. That would be, I think, probably like, you know, really heavy duty example of a troublesome stage mother always getting your minor associated family member fired because you all can't keep your lips closed. And again, like I said, we have the anti-stage mother, which is my mother who, you know, I was invisible but making plenty of money. And then we have the traditional one who's, like I said, they're usually dreams. You know, they're like friendly, accessible, they're just having fun, they like the attention, you know, the crafts table's good. And then we have the reverse stage mother, who is my kind of surrogate family member, and that's the one you'll never hear me say anything about. So, you know, I don't know where we're at right now because I deliberately told myself, excuse me, that I was not going to be gawking at some red thing on the camera that I can't even see without sticking my face in the camera. Excuse me. So I was just going to let this ride and just see, you know, if I have like the flow of doing it under 20 minutes-ish. Last night's show was like completely some like, you know, like psychoaffective meltdown with the flipping off of all the banks and, you know, giving all like, you know, the marrow of how to navigate customer service. But I don't know about locations. I don't know about nighttime driving. You know, I don't know. It is Robin Hoodie because, you know, I guess like anti-establishmentarianism. But that's not what my show's about. My show's about the slaughtered princes of West Hollywood, and I need to remember that. That's why I'm here. You're my friends. You're my best friends right now. And hopefully will be for quite some time. But, you know, can't ignore the elephant in the room, right? Because that's major reason to be here with you folks. I have a book dropping on May 15th, come hell or high water. It is called The Slaughtered Princes of West Hollywood. It is a deeper dive into anything you've heard here. We'll talk about that much closer to when it drops. And cross my fingers, I'm going to have a book to you by Christmas as well, which may be sort of a flow into or from the book that's going to drop on the 15th. So, you know, I'm not here to like sell anything, or like, I'm not here to sell these. So I love you, and you know I look forward to this stuff. And I don't have anything else interesting to show you on my table. I don't have the circle light, so please excuse all the reflections in my eyes. I don't have the, you know, when I was doing this with the being able to see, and you know what, you wanna know how little I know about what I'm doing? Do they see themselves doing that? Like, there's the circle light, and they're looking at the camera, and it looks like they're just doing their makeup like magically, but they see some reflection, right? Like they're seeing what they're doing a little bit in the circle light. So email me with those answers, SeanFresh66@gmail.com, or actually email me for whatever reason, because I am just like here, raw, okay? Let's see how I came in at 26 minutes. I went over. Sorry, kids. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow at 11 p.m., barring any of my freaky ass teasers or interludes, like the one that I did with miming Salt and Pepper tonight. We're at 27 minutes. So I'll see you tomorrow, and I can't wait. Bye.